Welcome to Samuelsdottir channel. Kevin Samuels was truly a truth seeker, and after many years of educating both men and women of all races, but particularly those of African descent, in the art of navigating the ever-complex dating world, he was sadly ripped from our lives as he was called back home to the Almighty in 2022. Some of us, myself included, instinctively recognized the truth of his message. Many found his message rather unpalatable. I am hoping with this channel to make his message that little bit more digestible in a more feminine and softer manner. I hope this helps my sisters in the Black community who saw him as an enemy. Being Black myself, I hope I can bridge that gap. And oh, by the way, my father was also called Samuel, so in a twist of fate, I pay tribute with this channel to my father, who is also where Kevin has gone. I love how the Icelandic have a way of acknowledging someone's daughter in the same way as someone's son. So I appropriate the Icelandic way to find a suitable name for my channel, Samuelsdottir, Samuel's daughter. Enjoy the video.
So if you're How are you? How old are you? 37. You're right in the target range. You're right in the target range. And I'm having a very serious question. That's a very serious question about women sharing a man. What do you mean can afford it? Oh, no. I didn't say wives. Well, what does he need to really afford? I mean, because let's be honest. I mean, you're 37. You have any kids? Okay, so have you been married? All right, so I don't want to do this if you're a married woman, ma'am. It doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't make any sense because I don't think you're living in the reality. Because you just came. This is for single women. Because married women, y'all live in a different reality. Because if you were to lose your husband, you're not going to be able to go out here and get somebody who's going to marry you with 4 kids, and then yeah, that's a different conversation. I don't want to do that. That's it. Okay, have a good one though. Appreciate it. So let's put some caveat. See, but I guess ultimately what I'm saying though is, I think many women drastically overestimate their marketplace value. So let me put it this way: many Black people have played dominoes or spades, and see when you play spades, you cannot go in and talk about, oh, we're gonna get 12 books. You gotta bet reasonably. You gotta mute yourself. Hello, Raven. How are you? How old are you? 27. What do you think about the concept of having to share a man after you're over 35? Okay. Oh, and you have any kids? How many kids? How old? So if you were over 35 with a 5-year-old, now you'd be 10 years old, and you wouldn't want to share a man, why should a man have to share his money with your kid? Hmm. No, we don't. See, what I mean, and I'm not trying to be rude, but see, I think it's funny, especially single mothers, y'all vastly overestimate. Your sexual marketplace value is lower than it was when you started. All single mothers. So let's take this out of personal. Let's say You went to a store and something cost $300, and you know you only got $200 in your pocket. Would you walk in the store and try to buy that? All right, but that's what y'all try to do in the marketplace. You trying to get men who are like $500, and you got $250 worth of buying power. The older you get, do you think your sexual marketplace buying power increases or decreases? All right, so that means you're going to have to be able to get less, right? No, for all women. What makes you special? No, but see that. But what does that do? What does that have to do with you, though? That's that wanting to be right. Oh, so you'd be the first female in history who she wouldn't depreciate as she got older? How's that happen? Okay, a six-figure man is making 100 and some odd thousand, not 75,000. But I just want okay, but older. What product on the market gains value with age and use? Not with use. Okay, ma'am. Hold on. Black people used to think feelings and facts are different. And I'm gonna just tell you, I get tired of hearing black women in particular because you're our women. I don't care about as other women as much as I care about black women. I get tired of hearing black women feel like because they don't feel like or they don't like something that they can dismiss the truth of it. If a non-black woman were to say that, but you're mine, I gotta care that you don't understand that you can't just dismiss it because you don't like the way it sounds. Understand that? And we got far too many women who think like you, move like you, because the way you feel, you can just dismiss it. Well, then, what man who shares your reflection feels the same way, that your value goes up as you get older? What man on the planet think that way? Well, then, if men don't think that way, how are you going to force a man to accept it? Exactly, because it won't work. So, ma'am, your value goes down whether you like it or not. Whether you think that you'll be more valuable 5 years from now with a 10-year-old, you're still a single mother. And and what does that mean? That means it's not his child. That's all that means. It's not his child. Your child is a liability to another man, not an asset. Okay. Okay, but listen though, listen. While that is something that most women would not do, the fact that you still had a child means your womb has been used. You have risked your life to clone another person. That matters to us as men. So it still lowers your value. I'm still trying to understand why you think your value won't go down, and you haven't made a compelling case. Hmm.
every time I hear anyone, but especially Mr. Samuels, say to somebody else, usually a woman, your child is nothing special to somebody else, right? Your child is actually a liability to a man who must look after you, must care for you, must protect you, must provide for you. It's very jarring. Any parent thinks their child is the best thing that happened to life, right? To the world, to life in general. So it's very, very hurtful to hear this. But it is indeed the truth. It's the truth. It's very difficult, however, if you are a parent, to distance yourself from the harsh realities of life, right? When it regards your child, I understand this. But then again, it's necessary to know the truth of the dating market in order to enter it and be successful at it. It doesn't mean that every single mother has had the door closed in her face. I know many mothers, single mothers, who eventually got married, eventually got into successful relationships. But there always needs to be a period of reckoning, a period of reflection, a period of self-improvement. None of these ladies that I know of who got into successful marriages after having children with other men who eventually left them, or they left, whatever the reason for the split was, none of them got into another relationship, another marriage without deep reflection.
Okay. Right, but what you're doing though, ma'am, is you're evaluating the market by comparing yourself today to yourself yesterday. Okay, you're comparing yourself to, I'm better than I was, right? But the market is much bigger than you, man. The market is thousands and thousands of women who some were worse than you, some who are far better. A man gets to pick one. And if you had the choice to pick one, you're going to get the best you can, not the one that was better than she was. You're going to get the best. No, you're not. I talk to women every day, ma'am. I mean, I think that's arrogant for you to say, because where do you live? Okay, due respect, ma'am, I talk to women worldwide for the last. Your attitude is not even right, man. So what I'm saying is, this is the arrogance of the modern female. Y'all feel like y'all can just do whatever and say whatever, and it's always gonna be. But if it was all that, why didn't the man you made a baby with put a ring on your finger? Or then why would you make a decision to have his baby? See, that's what men think about. No, you didn't have to learn. You didn't have to. You didn't have to, ma'am. You live in the West. In the West, it is well known that you should get married before you have a baby. That's not new news. You chose to make. Y'all chose to have sex, but women pay a higher price in sex than men because you risk pregnancy, and you can't undo that. And you can't act like it didn't happen, and you can't act like that it doesn't matter. It matters to men. And if he chose not to marry you, what kind of signal does that send to the next man? Because you gave a man the highest gift you can give any man, and you didn't require marriage. So why? So this is why I tell women you don't typically get higher than your baby daddy, because that's where you set your price. Your baby daddy is your price, and it only goes down. Your baby daddy making six figures that's fine, man, but it matters about character and all those other things too. He didn't marry you, right? You didn't want to marry you. I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. And what I'm saying is to women, I'm talking to you and I'm also talking through you. This is why it would be so much better for most of you ladies to just go finish the families you started. Because whatever you're saying, man, matters to you and that child's father. To the random man in the sexual marketplace, it doesn't mean a goddamn thing. To a random man in the street, in the marketplace, it doesn't matter a goddamn thing. I'll put her interview back up, but they can hear her answer. It doesn't matter. You come into a man and saying, "Hey, Roger, I'm better today than I was." And Roger's like, "Shit, I just met you today. All I'm judging on is today." But then he's going to say, "Well, let me look at your history, just like any other employer. Okay, you had a job that you was fired from. Now, that job cost you your future. It cost you this, but you got fired from it, or you didn't get promoted at that job. Why'd you give all this stuff to that job and they didn't promote you? Then you come into and you want me to come over and you want me to pay you more? No. We're going to pay you what you got paid back there. Because you did it over there. You did that job over there for less money and you worked harder. You ain't going to come to me 10 years later asking for more money. You're going to get less money. Because you've already set the market. And that's the point I'm trying to get ladies to understand. Your child's father sets the market for you. And unfortunately, you don't get to move that number around just because because you're better than you were. That's what I see the danger with Sierra's prayer and all that stuff, because it makes women think that, well, I can do better. No, that's not how that typically happens. And how we got here, folks, is the whole notion of sharing a man. And I guess why I'm having this conversation is to let ladies understand that the more stuff you have on your resume, the more you're gonna have to share, the more shit you're gonna have to potentially put up with. And a lot of women don't like that. So let me go ahead and unmute you. Do you have anything else you want to say, ma'am? I don't want to go ahead and say, because you're 30 right now, right?
No, I'm 27. You're talking to me, right?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I'm 27, but I guess my problem is not necessarily the type of man to get. It's about getting the man to commit, because I've had several guys who make good money. They have their own. They don't have children. They never been married, but really would love to be with me. But it's about the commitment. How do I get that man to say, okay, this is who I want? Because I'm honestly scared to just go out there and just be like, give him all of me, because I know I have a kid.
Okay, I'm confused. You said, how do you get a man to commit to you?
Yeah, well, because for me, I have several guys who they make good money, they have their own, but how do you choose? Which one do you choose? Do you date all of them at the same time?
Which one is proposed marriage?
They haven't. None of them proposed.
So what are you choosing from?
Which one do you give your time to see if that's the person?
Well, okay, you're confusing me, because you're saying you have men.
Okay,
Hold on. You're saying you have men. Hold on. You're saying you have men, and you keep saying their money. So I guess they're a certain caliber. But you're saying they want you. But what if they proposed?
As far as marriage, they haven't proposed.
Then why do you know they want you?
They communicate with me. They want to take me out on dates. They want to get to know me.
And that's the link. Okay. You ladies often read stuff into men. If a man wants you, he's going to tell you what he wants you for. Do you make room for the fact that they only want you for this? To date and have fun?
No, they all would love to marry, but they have to get to know you first.
What do you mean they all would love to marry? How can you say that?
Because they say it.
They say they want to marry you, or they want to be married?
They will marry me. That's my baby's daddy lost, is what they say.
I'm not talking about your baby daddy. You talk about these other two men. Say again?
Why didn't he marry you? That's his loss.
Hold on, ma'am. I listen really well. I'm not talking about your child's father. You said you have other men who want to marry you.
Who would love to? Yes.
And how do you know they want to marry you? What exactly have they said?
So I have one guy who says, I've been knowing you for a long time. We take our time. One day you will be my wife, but we have to take our time.
How long have you known this man?
12 years?
That's called game.
Game it is.
I mean, goddamn, ma'am, you known him for 12 years. Have y'all been intimate?
No.
He don't want you. Ma'am, 12 years, how much? I mean, just take it away from you. Does that even sound reasonable? We need to take our time. How much time you need?
Okay, it sounds reasonable when you're young and I'm like,
No. You're the one that's confused. I'm trying to help you. When did people take 12 years to get to know each other 75, 80 years ago?
Okay, so let's slow down, right?
Let's slow down what?
Let's slow down, because when he says, I want you to still live your life, I feel like it's selfish of me to try to take that away from you. You're in college, you're young, I'm an older male. I don't want to take your youth away from you. That's selfish, is what it says. That's very selfish on my part. Now that I'm older, he's a little bit more aggressive with letting me know, hey, I want to be with you. You're the person that I want. But now it's like, I got all these other options.
Who got all these other options?
Me. Even after a baby.
Uh-huh.
Yoo-hoo! I'll make you famous.
I believe you believe that, ma'am, but it don't sound like you. It sounds like there are all these good companies out here, and they let you take a tour of the plant. They let you take a tour of the office. You got an offer letter. You got a physical offer letter from any of these companies.
I got the keys to the crib.
The answer was, do you have a physical offer letter? Engagement ring.
No.
Then you ain't got shit except game.
Okay, your opinion.
Young lady at the bottom, do you have a different opinion? That's why you smiling, because apparently she's not hearing me. Maybe she'll hear you. What do you think?
I don't really want to say much, but it's just a lot.
She don't want to say much because she don't want to hurt her feelings. But every time I make a point, she's smiling. You're the only one that's not seeming to pick it up, man. Man, 12 years. A man has known me for 12 years, and you got the baby, but he ain't had sex with you, whatever. And then you got all these other men. Well, if that's the case, ma'am, if that's the case, you should never have to settle for anything. Matter of fact, you got a baby daddy that want to marry you, and you got this guy and that guy. You're down in Australia with dingoes and cherubies, but it sounds to me like you full of shit. So like to me, you live in a fantasy world to where you're the star of your own show. And the sad part is, when this movie is over, there ain't gonna be no sequel.
I don't want a sequel.
Good. Die alone.
I'm sorry.
I'm sitting here listening to this, like, I got all these options, I got all this other stuff, and yeah, dude, it just, wow. And you wonder why women are, I got keys to the crib. Okay. All right, you got keys to the crib. No, you don't need to be. Okay, ma'am, how are you on Zoom? How are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
How old are you?
I'm 32.
All right, so let's reset from that.
It was
man.
But don't you think she still have like a chance if she just kind of
no,
get her head right
absolutely not. Absolutely not. Did you not? You heard what was coming out of her mouth?
I did.
No, she's got no chance.
Wow.
Not with anybody with any sense. I mean, I didn't make her say all that mess. I mean, but I'm asking ladies about sharing a man, and then ma'am, how are you, Randy? No, you don't need to be. Okay, ma'am, how are you? Oh my gosh, you got YouTube playing in the background.
Okay, let me turn it off. Sorry. Okay, I'm off.
How old are you?
I am 38, Godfather.
All right. What do you think about sharing a man at your age?
I just kind of feel like it's what's going to have to happen. At this point, I've learned a lot from you, just watching you over the past few months. And I used to be one of those women who were delusional, but I appreciate you because you brought me to my senses. So I understand that that's pretty much what I'm going to have to
what do you
accept.
think?
Hallelujah, we got a reasonable one. Well, she sounds sensible, and this is what happens when people learn, right? We can't all be born with a head full of common sense. Huh? So we learn throughout life, and this woman seems to have learned something. I'm now willing to listen to what she has to say. By the way, apologies for the missing sound at the beginning of this video. Huh? I don't think Mr. Samuels realized that until towards the end when he corrected the problem, I think. Anyway, so yes, I'm really keen to hear what this lady has to say. Kudos to her.
What do you think about sharing a man?
I think it's not gonna really work because like
Okay.
women are jealous, and and it probably work if they keep it to themselves and never let her find out. But
Where are your people
it's
from?
not
Where are your people
my.
from?
Oh, I'm American, but I have African.
I mean, what state? I mean, I know you're
Oh,
American.
California,
California.
LA.
Where your grandmother from?
Originally from Louisiana.
Okay. I guarantee you went back to Louisiana, your grandmother and your great grandmother, they did it. How do you think you get somebody for 30 or 40, 50 years? You from the South. This is where I'm from. This is where this shit comes from. How many people went to Big Daddy's funeral and met the whole nother family?
Yeah.
Women have always had to share men.
But like openly, like like you
Yes,
feel like
it would
my
be better.
grandma knew.
Because here's the reason you have to share it openly. Because one, if you mismanage your youth to where you get to be in your 30s, that's your problem.
Uh-huh.
So women have a problem with men lying. And I'm just telling ladies, get to the point where you got to share a man and you ain't got to lie. Let me tell you what happened. When I used to be a liar, when I started all that shit in college and I was lying to women, it was stressful and it caused a lot of damn problems. When I started being upfront with women and said, hey, this is how it is, guess what? You got the option. Let's just say, I'm sorry, Randy. Let's just say Randy's my wife. You would have to get along with Randy. You would like to know, you'd have to at least know about her if you decide you wanted to deal with me. Or you could choose to deal with somebody who's not me. But you can't have me all to yourself.
Can I say something though?
Go ahead. Now we're talking
I,
about it.
I
We're
know
talking.
that that's probably true what you said about, my grandma generation, but we're kind of in a different generation where women feel like, they have the say so. So,
They don't, but they can feel whatever the hell they want to.
yeah.
You can feel whatever you want to. How you gonna make that happen? How you gonna make it a reality?
I know. I just hear I understand what you're saying.
See,
I'm just saying
the problem is today women want too much for what you are. Mostly every woman I meet thinks there's a prize. They think they're queens. They think you watch my show, and how many women sit here on this program day in, day out, tell you they deserve a man of value. And ain't but 10% of these men available. But 100% of women say they want them. All right. And I'm talking about a man in that category, a top 20%, 15%, 10% man.
okay.
Let's flip it. Let's put you as a top 10% woman, right? Even better, let's put you as a top 1% woman.
Me.
Why should you get less? Why should Rihanna be dating a taxi cab driver? But see, y'all understand it when it's that way. And what's more likely gonna happen? The older you get, you're gonna get more money or less? More on the sexual marketplace credit card or less? Go ahead. So, Randy, what you think about what I just said?
I agree with you. Like I had to kind of learn that the hard way, though. I didn't always think like that. Like I was all about monogamy, but then once I realized that the guys that I were dating always wanted to put me in their side chick category, I kind of started looking for answers on why that was.
You know who becomes the main chick?
When I stumbled across you.
You know who becomes the main chick? The main chick who understands you're gonna have side chicks. You know where I learned this the most? From educated, beautiful black women. Professional, educated, beautiful, fit, accomplished black women. Because you asked them who they were dating and who it is, the pilot, the banker, the this, the that, the da-da-da. And you know what they said? You know what? There was rules. There was rules. And every one of them could have married, chose to marry, man, please. I'm not, and here's the hardcore reality. I'm gonna take y'all off camera. Camera one, here's the reality. The women who I've learned this from over years, smoke y'all. And then you gonna come through with your average, above average, below average self and think you gonna get better than what women up here who set the market get? Please. Where in the hell can you go in a store and say, you know what your customer pays, I should get, I work down at I don't want to insult the post office, but I work down at the local florist. My business is just as valuable as theirs. Ma'am, she got an Amex Black. She got a black card. Yes. That's a Walmart prepaid card. Yes. We would rather have her business than yours. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, it sounds rude, but it's true. And Randy, I'll be honest with you. More men, if you can understand what I'm saying, the spirit of what I'm saying, you'll have better relationships with men. Because honestly, most men don't want to have to manage all these women. They just want women to know if I chose to. So because I'm coming home monogamously to you, you need to be happy and respect that, because it is human nature to where you get comfortable with something, you get contemptuous of it. Comfort breeds contempt. So that's the point. It's not as though all these men want to be having all these relationships. In fact, they want to come home and like I told that woman the other day, she's like, I start to nitpick. And I'm like, well, when you start to nitpick, the first thing you do is go jump in the shower, take out the shower, get out naked, and look at yourself. You'll stop nitpicking at folks. Let me bring some more folks in here. I'm gonna leave you guys on, but I mean, I'm glad you at least started listening. And Miss Shakira, you know, you don't have to agree, just listen to the arguments. That's all I'm asking you ladies to do, listen to the arguments. Because I'm not trying to pull the okey doke on women. I'm trying to get you to understand how men think.
Yeah.
How men think.
I did listen and I agree, but I was just saying I don't think women is going to allow that, and that's why majority of them.
What women won't allow? What women won't allow? Okay, so let's talk about it. We're talking about women who 74% or more, 74% earn less than $50,000. Okay, right? 74% earn less than $50,000, meaning meaning that when you die, the meaning you're not going to have enough to retire on. You're going to live basically what, paycheck to paycheck, comfortable. You'll live in Outback, Applebee's, TGI Fridays, Macy's kind of life, right? Right? That sounds fine. I'd rather do that than have to share, right? Until you're 60. Until you're 60. Then what happens? At $50,000 when you're 60. Shakira, what do you think?
I don't think it's going to work.
Okay.
I don't know.
So you know what's going to end up happening? Then who they going to live with?
Yeah, they are going to be single.
No, they can't be single because most won't own a home.
Yeah.
So when you're aged, who's going to be your care? Who's going to be your network? Other women?
I don't want to be in that boat. I don't want to be in that boat.
I didn't ask about being in that boat. I'm saying that you say you don't think women are going to accept it. I'm like, okay, then what are they going to accept? The golden girls?
Being lonely. That's what they rather be lonely.
It's beyond being lonely. See, what I get to people is I start getting to places that women don't even want to think about. They don't even want to think about it. They're like, I don't even want to contemplate that thought. But you got to.
Yeah.
You got to contemplate that thought because you're 32. Are you married?
I'm not, no.
Any children?
One, but deceased.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Do you have anybody seriously vetting you for marriage?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, and that's my ultimate point. Marriage ain't about your happiness or loyalty. It is about practicality. If 74% of our women earn less than $50,000 nationwide, and you can't get a man to be loyal to you, then that means you're going to end up what? You're going to have to share your space with somebody. So are we saying are we not speaking for you, but are we thinking that women would actually want to be 200 some odd pounds, 5'4", 3 or 4 women to a house?
No, I don't think they would want to do that.
No, they start, you know what they start doing? Shit, I'd rather go get that dude to work at the post office because I'd rather live with a man. Because you ladies, I talk to women who date men and women. They have sex with women, but they won't date women. And one thing I've heard from these women is dating women has made them understand what men go through. So they gonna share. They're gonna share, or they're gonna share, or they're gonna end up being in spinster villages. Either way, invest in cat food and particle board, yeah. Thank you, Randy. Thank you, man. I'm serious, man, because I know a lot of women are like, I don't want to be doing it. I'm not gonna do that. I won't share no man. And see, the funny thing is, I hear a lot of influencers. And people, and I'm just going to say a lot of people in the industry, a lot of women in the industry telling women, you ain't got to do this, got to stop listening to these Generation X women who are in the industry. They make more money than you do, and they have deeper networks. You can't have the life they're talking about. And I guarantee you, they don't want to go to your life. I cannot see you in the dark. If you come on in the dark, I'm going to bounce you. But I want you to understand how, you're going to start your camera later? You can't be on there. I want you to understand how little the average woman must think of the average man. Just like, I would rather live alone at 60 some odd years old, struggling to pay my bills, knowing that I got a high school, whatever it is I got, I don't have the money to live on. And once I reach mandatory retirement age, I would rather risk dying alone on 50 grand than having to compromise with a man. Your audio's not connected.
Yes, exactly. In Grandma's time, things were made very simple for her and her peers. You either got with a man and you survived, or you were out in the cold and you died alone, maybe with a bear tearing out your throat. Of course, I'm exaggerating for hyperbole here, but that was how it was. So incentives matter, as they say. Now we have so much choice and we have so many... we have too much of a good life. We have so many choices that we're killing ourselves with those choices. So, hey, the goal here is not to say that just for the sake of survival, any woman should get with any man. That's not the point. The point is, at some point, most men are average, as are most women, and the two can somehow find their way to each other. You know what I mean? It is possible, but we just complicate life. Yes. Anyway, I mustn't pontificate for too long. I think we're getting very close to the end of this video, and I wish you the best. harmony, grace, peace, all of those good stuff. Until the next time.